This is Educated Artistry. Hi, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Educated Artistry. We are coming at you solo today because there has been a topic that I have been wanting to talk about. I made a couple videos on it, but it's just not enough. I'm like, we need a whole podcast episode to have this conversation because all over TikTok and Instagram lately, the trending topic of the week has been, is the lash industry dying? I was getting flooded with this content, first from people who had gotten lash extensions in the past and shared their reasons why they made the switch to either DIY lashes or not getting lash extensions anymore. And now we are having a lot of lash artists come out and join the conversation by sharing their opinions. So today I want to talk to you guys about this because I do have like some perspectives from both sides that I want to share with you. But before we dive into today's episode, I want to make sure that you guys know about the Lash Biz Babes conference on May 18th and 19th that is for solo beauty business owners because tickets are on sale right now for $299. Now, guys, this is a 2-day online conference. So what is great is that you're able to join during the day live while the speakers are presenting so you can ask questions, but you also have access to all of the videos after the classes run and the speaker's presentation. So you can kind of come to this conference during your own time if you don't have to take any time off of work, you don't have to reschedule any clients. The conference is on a Saturday and Sunday, I believe, or Friday, Saturday. So it is kind of nice that it's already on the weekend if you don't take clients, so you can pop in and out. There's going to be 2 days full of speakers and presentations. You get the lifetime access and ability to rewatch. There's going to be giveaways and prizes. And then there's also an amazing online Facebook community. So I'm going to put the link in the show notes so you guys can grab your ticket so you can join this conference. I will be one of the speakers there, and I am going to speak on creating content and showing up confidently inside of your content and just like embracing you in your content. So I'm really excited to speak on this topic and hear from all of the other wonderful business owners that are presenting. And like I said, this is solely for like solo beauty business owners. You're going to get so much value from this conference. And if you've never went to a conference or experienced anything like this is like the online version of it. So Erica is the founder and the owner of Lash Biz Babes conference, and she does a really good job with making sure you guys have a variety of topics and that it is a really warm community and welcoming space for you. So the link will be in the show notes of this episode, and I am so excited to see you there. If you were coming, then please send me a DM and let me know that you got your ticket and we can celebrate together. So let's get back to the topic of, is the lash industry dying? Simple answer, no. Do I think it's evolving? Absolutely. Do I think that we're going to see a huge turnover in lash techs this year and the next coming years? Yeah. Do I think that the industry is still growing and thriving for the artists that take quality education? They provide a luxury service and experience, and they have long-lasting results. Yeah, they're going to be fine, and it's still growing. But I want to be able to talk about this because I've seen a lot of like these larger brands share the statistics on the projected growth of the lash industry and talk about how it's alive and well. And I've also seen artists say like, I've never been busier. But on the flip side, I've seen a large amount of artists that are solo that are closing their businesses, or they're getting a part-time job, or they're feeling really discouraged within their business currently. And I feel like it's irresponsible to ignore that with the rise and the evolution of DIY lashes, that although the lash industry as a whole is alive and well, that we are seeing a huge turnover of lash artists. So I want to talk to you guys today about how you can avoid that, how you can be one of those artists that are booked and busy and are bringing in clients and are thriving and growing your business, because there are still clients out there that want these luxury services. So we need to get into that. So I want to talk about it from both sides because I have watched a ton of content from people who traded getting lash services to going to a DIY lash. And I've kind of noticed a common thread that I can understand where clients are having a frustration on their side of it. Most of the time. Some of the times they're just like, it's ridiculous. They're like, she didn't want to stay till midnight to do my lashes. So, like, screw her. I'm doing DIY. Like, there's always people like that. But there are some things that I can see the frustration that I think that as an industry, we can take accountability for, and we can help artists not do these things and to get better so we can keep lash extensions and the lash service as a high quality luxury experience. Okay, so I wanted to read you guys just a few comments that I had screenshotted when I was watching some videos of people sharing their experience of why they switched from lash extension artists to DIY lashes. There was someone that said the prices went up and the quality went down. They were coming off too easily and they were looking rough longer than looking good. Also, the feeling, the tips are too sharp. Another person said the 2 to 3 week appointment felt like a chore and I had to plan my life around them. And there was a bunch of different comments like this where I noticed like a common thread of mainly three things where that people were complaining about and why they made the switch. Number one was retention, that people were feeling like they would get their lashes done, they loved them, they loved the lash artist, but within a couple days or a week, they were like, I look like I have gaps, like, and I do feel like they're looking more rough for a longer period of time than they are looking good in between their fills. And as a client, that is super frustrating. As somebody who gets lash extensions, that is extremely frustrating when you're paying for this high dollar quality service and a week later you feel like, okay, like, was that worth $150 or $100 because it lasted a week and now I feel like I need a fill? And that's not how it should be. The second common thread that I saw was customer experience. It was either people complaining that their artist was always late, they were charging them fees and after hours fees, or they would come in and then they would come in for a fill, but their retention wasn't good. So then they'd be charged a full set. And so it was really just a customer experience. And I feel like communication, because I'm all for like after hours fees, cancellation fees, charging for your time accordingly. But there has to be communication in that. And you have to make it a part of your customer experience and make sure your clients understand that if they want to come in outside of your hours, that there is an additional fee. Or, a client shouldn't be constantly coming in every time and needing a full set. You should be troubleshooting in between those times. So maybe if that happens one time, let's make sure it doesn't happen again. And then the third thing that I saw, which is kind of one where I'm like, this is subjective to the person, which was greed. A lot of people are saying lash artists are greedy now. Like, they're super greedy. They just like want all this money and I can get, lashes for $15 DIY, do it myself, whatever. What that comes down to is just that the price is not matching the value for that customer. I want you guys to hear this again. The price is not matching the value for that customer. Now, there are going to be, just like with the hair industry, we're seeing DIY lashes. Hair industry has box dye. They have clip-in extensions that people can buy, right? The nail industry has press-ons, and we've seen press-ons evolve like crazy. DIY lashes are going to be an option for the customers who are going to choose, and it's going to be personal based on their time, their income, and where they see value in spending their money. As much as we are seeing people talk about the time and money saved when they switch over to DIY lashes, let's be really real. For anybody who's had a really good set of lash extensions with custom eye styling, long-lasting retention, and the customer experience that's luxury with that, there is no comparison between the two. There will always be clients that want the experience you provide and want to come in every 3 to 4 weeks and lay on the bed for 90 minutes, not have to do anything but lay there, maybe take a nap, maybe have some time away from their kids or their work or their significant other, or just have some time to relax for themselves. That is worth the investment compared to having to learn how to put on DIY lashes, learn what curl, what length looks best on their eye, and have to reapply them every 5 to 7 days, even if it takes 15 minutes. There's always going to be people who would rather have that luxury experience. They want to come in, they want the smells, they want the ambiance, they want, the coffee or the water that you offer them. They want that cozy bed with the blanket. They want the experience. They don't want to have to think about, oh shit, I got to freaking put my lashes on, right? But then on the flip side, there's people who are going to see value in saving the time and the money at this part of their life. I actually also saw a lot of comments where people were like, times are tough right now. And I had to sacrifice these. I love my lashers. I loved my lash extensions, but times are tough, so I needed to cut back and find an alternative, and that's okay. But then they were saying if I ever go on vacation or I have an event, like I am getting lash extensions because there's no comparison between the two. So that is okay. There's going to be everybody is on like a different way of what they want to spend their money on and what's valuable to them. So, how do we make sure that we are still marketing to these clients that do tend to have more of that disposable income, that extra income, even when times are harder in the economy? And how do we make sure that the service that we're providing is actually going to stand up to that price and be luxury? Because I think that's where a lot of us are missing the mark and where we're going to see a turnover. So neither is right or wrong. It's just a choice. And I have nothing against DIY lashes. I actually think that they've evolved greatly. And especially since lash extension brands have entered the chat, such as like Lash Base and Lashbox LA, because these brands do value eye styling and eye health and the lash artist, they're taking all of that in mind compared to just like drugstore DIY lashes that you can get. And lash extension brands have even worked on how to market it as a service for lash artists to provide for their clients, which is awesome because if you decide you can add it as a service and you can retail it to them. I mean, and this isn't going to like take value away from your clients or anything, or that all your clients are going to do DIY, because there's a difference, right? Like they're not going to come in every 5 to 7 days to get you to redo the DIY lashes. Maybe it's something where it's a service that they're going to sit down. You're going to be like, hey, this is what styling looks good. This is like what I'm putting on you. This is like based on your eye shape. We're going to put them on. This is how you do it. And then they can choose to do it at home or whatever. But there are going to be people who are like, I don't even want to have to deal with that, right? But your clients that come in every 2 to 3 weeks maybe have daughters in high school. They're going to prom and they want lashes. But no, as a mom, most moms aren't going to pay for their daughters to go get a $300 set of lash extensions and then get their fills and then trust that they're going to maintain them, right? Because teenagers can be some of the worst clients. Trust me, I've had some in the past. So that is something that you can actually retail to your clients for their kids or their nieces or nephews, like whoever, right? So it's not going to devalue your service. It's just going to be another opportunity to be able to give lashes to more people and be more accessible. I've actually had clients come up and ask, like, do you have like a good brand of DIY? Like my daughter really wants some. And, I had this one client that was saying that her daughter ordered some online and she's like, it ripped out all her lashes, and the glue, whatever. So there are still like, just like there's bad lash artists and lash extensions, there's bad DIY lashes too. So why not maybe look into one of these lash extension brands that are offering something like this that you could bring into your service menu. This is just like if you add lash lifts and tints, right? Not all of your clients want lash lifts and tints because it's a specific look, it's a style, the maintenance, the money, whatever it is. What you can achieve is different. So it's just giving more options, but still being part of your lash extensions. I also want to give you guys this analogy. It's like the water bottle analogy that I'm sure you guys have heard this, but I always love this analogy when it comes to marketing and people saying like, oh, there's just like nobody will pay this price or nobody wants this service, whatever. Like whenever you go to the grocery store and you look down the water bottle aisle, you're going to see like 50 different brands of water, right? They're going to be in different packaging. Some are going to be glass bottles, plastic bottles, boxes now, like cardboard boxes, water comes in. Some are going to be sourced from spring water. Some are probably tap water bottled. You get a better value and some you just like the coloring on the bottle. What is it about the water bottle that you go and choose? Why do you choose it? Do you choose the glass bottle because you're like, it's more eco-friendly? Do you choose it because of the shape? Do you choose it because of the color? Do you choose it because of the price? That is what it is with Lash Artist. We're all sitting on that shelf of like, and all the different services, right? And there's going to be a client for every single one of us. And we're all selling the same thing. They're all selling the same thing. Water. We're all selling the same thing. Lash extensions. But it's all the little different pieces of our branding and the experience and the look and the feel that is going to attract a specific client to you. And I'm going to say this too, that there is such a thing as being too cheap. this I'm just kind of like ranting because I didn't even have this in my notes to talk about. But it made me think that I had somebody ask me about pricing, and I feel like I get asked about pricing a lot. And for my clients, I've always been on the higher end price point because I know the service that I provide, I know the experience I provide, and I know the type of clientele that I want to market to. And it is so funny because I'll have conversations with clients and they'll be like, "Oh, my friend, are you taking new clients because she got lashes and she didn't love them and this happened and stuff." And, she paid $50 and everything. And I was like, "Oh my gosh." And they'll be like, "Yeah, I told her, like, that is scary." Like, to clients like that, when they see a price too low, they don't think like, "Ooh, I'm going to save some money." They think, "What's wrong? What is wrong with the service?" They're scared of that price. So if your prices are too low, then you actually could be turning those potential clients away. Now, this does come too with, like, if you're a beginner, you do need to price yourself in a way that makes sense for the value that you have right now. And you can work up to that, do these price increases, we can build this confidence. But that's just like a little side note of, like, sometimes prices that are too low will scare people away depending on who your ideal client is. So my opinion is that I said in the beginning of this is like, is the lash industry dying? No. Are we going to see a big influx in lash artists leaving? Yeah. Closing their businesses? Yeah. We're already seeing it. Lash extensions are a luxury service and we need to hold it to that standard. So if you're a lash artist and you're struggling to get clients right now, I would want you to take like a bird's eye view of your customer experience. Be honest with yourself, right? Is it a luxury experience? Does the price you're charging match that experience? Can you improve? How is your client's retention? How often are they coming in? How clear is your communication? I want you to take a bird's eye view at your entire business. When I work with people on like social media and stuff, or like client marketing, I even say, grab like some friends or some family, someone who knows nothing about lash extensions. Have them pretend, do like a mock book an appointment with you. How many times did it take them to click through? Was your verbiage confusing? Was it hard to book? Was it hard to figure out even where your link was? Because sometimes when we set things up, we just know how it is. So we just assume that the consumer is going to know exactly what we're talking about. And especially when we're working in our terminology with everything about lash extensions, have somebody who has no idea try to book an appointment with you. Try to find your Google page. Try to find your business on Google Maps. Where can you improve in those areas? Now have somebody come in and get a service by you, even if you're going to do a model set, and have them be, I want you to be like, I want you to give me the hard, honest truth. Is the bed comfortable? Do I put too much pressure on your forehead and it hurts your neck? Does my breath stink? Right? Like, is the music too loud? Like, be really open to criticism because it's going to help you make your experience better. Because it could be something you don't even realize. So that there are a lot of times clients won't say anything, they just won't come back. So is your bed really uncomfortable? And they're like, "Man, there is something that is like poking my back and I can't lay there for 3 hours," whatever it is. So have somebody take a bird's eye view of your business, or you take a bird's eye view. And then I want you to have other people do like mock appointments with you and stuff like that. So you can actually see the areas that you can improve. When it comes to retention, we saw a really big influx of artists in 2020, 2021 because of, obviously all the COVID closures, and then everybody was pushing online courses. And I have nothing against online courses. There's a lot of amazing ones, but there's also a lot of really shit ones too. And we saw this big influx of lash artists that came in. And so these last couple years, they're trying to build their clientele. Maybe they haven't taken more classes and their retention isn't there. And we're going to see those people that got into the industry because they thought it was a quick cash grab and they could have it as a hobby, make a bunch of extra money, whatever it is, are going to dissolve their businesses and they're going to leave the industry. And this happens every couple years, guys. Like, I've been in the industry now for 9 years. This isn't anything new. Like, I've seen this like filter through a couple different times. I feel like when lash lifts became really popular and when they first came around, we saw a big influx of turnover of people. So that's going to happen. But how can you stand out, right? What can you do to make sure that you're not that artist? You're not the one that's closing their business. You're the one that's in this like growing, thriving, the lash industry is booming, we're baddies making money business. So this is what I think that people need to start doing. Take accountability. Okay. If your retention is not very good, or your customer experience, or your eye styling, or you have areas that you need to improve, you need to take accountability first and foremost. And this is why I think it's important to have that bird's eye view of your business. So that way you can actually take accountability, like, oh, I need to do better, right? That's number one. Number two, investing in high quality education and products. We've seen a huge surge of new like mini brands pop up and people selling products, or we all have like a million manufacturers inside of our DMs. Really take it seriously on the education and the products that you are investing in, right? Could you imagine if you went to like a really high-end luxury store and they like they asked you if you wanted something to drink and they gave you like warm tap water? You'd be like, what the hell? Like, I'm about to spend 5 grand on a bag and you're giving me warm tap water? No, they're going above and beyond, right? They're giving you the perfectly chilled, sparkling water from Fiji or wherever with a towel and a lemon slice. And like, right? Like, if you're going to charge that high end price, we need to make sure that we're using high quality products and getting high quality education so we can give clients those long lasting results. The next one is you need to educate your clients. There was a ton of comments that I saw and a couple of videos where people were like, I hated having to plan my hair wash days around my lash extensions, like that I had to wait 24 hours to get my lashes wet. Guys, that hasn't been a thing for many years, at least like 4 to 5 years, where you can get your lashes wet 5 minutes after you apply. And this is where we need to continue to educate our clients. We need to continue to educate our clients on why fills are important, what it looks like when you're shedding versus like prematurely losing a lash. Like, is your natural lash attached? If it's attached, great. That's what we want to see. If not, like, then okay, if that's happening a lot, then I want you to reach out to me because we might need to troubleshoot something. Making sure that you're educating them on how to properly take care of their lashes and the aftercare at home, educating them on their eye styling and why certain curls or shapes are going to look best on their eye shape and achieve what they're wanting to, like the look that they're wanting, right? So making sure that we're educating our clients on that. And then the last thing I want you guys to do is just ignore the fear mongering. We're seeing a lot of it, and I know it can be hard, especially if you're new to the industry and you're seeing a lot of these videos pop up on people's page or on your page of people saying, I'm switching, I'm giving up, like lash techs suck, like they're dying and the industry is over and DIY lashes are taking over. Like, just ignore the fear mongering, because I promise there's always going to be clients that you're going to be able to attract that are going to come in and get services with you. And those people just may not be your clients, and that's okay. So ignoring the fear mongering. Now, to end this episode, I do want to give you guys a couple free ways that you can elevate your experience, because I can get it too if you feel like, man, Kayla, like, yeah, I want to get the nice bed. I want to get like all these extra little things, but like, I just don't have the extra money right now to be able to buy those things, right? So the first thing is when your client enters your space, you should be ready. The space should be clean, and you should greet them by their name. Using people's names is so powerful. We love to hear our name. Like when somebody says your name, you're like, whoo, like it feels good to hear your name. So you should be greeting your client by their name. So this means when you come in for your first client, make sure you're coming in like 15 minutes early so you can have the bed set up to their preference. You have the music on that they like. You have all the supplies you need set out. Don't like come in running with your coffee and be like, oh my gosh, give me a second, right? That's not a luxury experience. It happens once in a while. We're all human. But this is also why I do a 15-minute block in between all of my appointments. So all my lash fills are an hour and a half, and I block 15 minutes after each fill. So that way I have some time to check out my client and to sanitize my bed, get the bed set up, get all my supplies set up, get everything clean and disinfected. And then that way when my client comes in, the space is ready for them. I don't have clients rarely ever like crossing paths. I want it to be something where they feel like I set this up for them and I'm here and they have my undivided attention. That is something so like for free you guys can start doing. And even if you're like, do a 10-minute duration that you block out. And I use Square for my booking, and you can do this really easily inside of there. by adding that time. The next free way to elevate your experience is changing your verbiage. So this can be like the way you speak to clients when you're writing captions on your website. A couple things that you can change is change the word client into the word guest. Guest sounds more luxury instead of client. You're my guest, like you're a guest in my home. And then you can also change the word appointment to reservation. That's also a good one. Even using, instead of saying glue, lash adhesive. Sounds better, right? So changing your verbiage with those couple things throughout all of your marketing. Number 3 is when the service is done, before you have your clients open their eyes, your lash cart should be clean and tidy. I know we all like have a pile of garbage with like our tissues and our tape and the gel pads and the lash strips. What I like to do is when I set the fan down for like a minute or so and I have it sitting on the lash pillow so it's facing, oh my gosh, I always like use my hands and I'm like, if you're listening to the audio, you have no idea what I'm saying, but if you're watching on YouTube, you'll see. Where the lash pillow and the fan like kind of bends and it like faces them so I can be hands-free. And during that minute, I'm like cleaning up my station. I'm putting away adhesive. I'm putting away my lash trays. So that way, when they open their eyes, they're not just seeing this big pile of garbage that I created during their service. That's another tiny little thing that you guys can do for free. Elevate the experience. The last one I'm going to leave you with today is to ask for their preference. Guys, I know we all have our playlists that we like. We like the music we like to listen to or the shows we like to watch, but ask for their preference. If they have a type of music they want to listen to, or they want to listen to a podcast, make sure you're noting their preferences for the bed. Do they like the leg bolster? Do they like the heating pad to always be on? Do they like to have the blanket, or do they like to just have it at the foot of the bed in case they get a little chilly, right? Like have the bed set up and like take notes of their preferences. So then that brings us back to the beginning, the top one, where when your client enters your space, it should be ready and set to their preferences for them. Okay. So I'm going to leave you guys there with today's episode. I hope that this gives you like a breath of fresh air, kind of alleviates some stress when it comes to this whole, is the lash industry dying? I hope you guys have some actionable steps on what you can do to take a bird's eye view of your business and also some free ways to elevate your customer experience. I'm also going to add in the show notes my link for my lash bed setup because I do feel like I get a lot of compliments on that from my clients. And whenever I post about it on TikTok or Instagram, people are like, what? Like that looks so nice. And I actually did see a lot of comments on TikTok of people saying that, you know, they hated laying there. It was really uncomfortable on the bed. It was hard. And it doesn't have to be. So I'm actually also going to link my lash bed setup so you guys can look and see if there's anything that you want to add to that. I will say the massage pad, the heating/massage pad is like a game changer for clients. You say, would you like the massage pad on? And they're like, excuse me, what? A massage? Like while I'm getting my lashes done? That's great. And it's like under $100. So I'm going to also add that in the show notes for you guys if you want to, you know, start providing a more luxury experience and you do have a little bit of extra money that you can spend on this. Otherwise, I love you guys. We will see you next week. Make sure you check out the show notes for the Lash Biz Babes conference. We're a little over 2 weeks out from that, and I cannot wait to see you inside there. Otherwise, you know the drill. I'll see you next Wednesday for another episode of Educated Artistry. Bye.